So yes, glad to see the jacket back, by the way. It's fitting. It's fitting. So all right, but before we leave, let's just talk about some investments that people might, just keep an eye on. So Amazon, Jeff Bezos is interested in space. Elon Musk is interested in space. UFO is an ETF, and PHO is a water ETF. Water is a different conversation, but it all kind of relates to these conversations that we're having with natural resources and all of that kind of stuff. Any others that you guys want to throw into the mix?
I think those are the ones I had. Yeah, you got any more, Ian?
The ones that's already been working. For those who are new, scholarship time, VOO, VTI. And I don't know if you guys saw, but VOO and VTI had record inflows for any ETF. Shout out to everybody in Red Panda that's been piling in, all the earners who've listened here on Market Mondays. I know we were responsible for some of that growth for sure. Apple and Microsoft. That's it. Like, you guys don't need more information. You need more execution. That's it. A lot of times people will bog you down with information to prevent you from getting to where you want to be. So, no, those are the only ones that, and if I've made you money and these have worked, please put yes in chat.
Yeah, that's always the conversation a lot of times it's the conversation. I want to generalize it. People say, like,
because if Tim Cook gets mad enough, my bad.
Yeah. No, I was saying people take notes and they'll show you their notes and they're like, well, what's next? And I'm like, the next thing is to execute. Yeah, now it's time to, now you have everything. Don't make this information overload. Actually take one or two and let's just start. So like when people come on and they say, well, I'm losing money. Well, first you started. Congratulations, because you actually have a foot in this investment. I won't even call it game, but lifestyle, really, because it becomes that, right? When you're checking your phone and you're super invested in what you've put your money in, it becomes a lifestyle. But that's the next thing. Do it.
But you have to be patient with people. You have to be patient.
Real cheat code. Let's say like on the private equity side. And at some point soon, we're going to get into the angel conversation in private equity. But on the private equity side, like the same number of shares, you want to try and get 2,500 to 9,000 shares before it goes public. When it goes public, eventually you want 9,000 to 15,000 shares. Don't remix my content. My lawyer will sue you. I'm telling them to go crazy this quarter. If you get on the angel side, you want to get 5 to 20% of ownership of the company. But regardless of what you're investing into, whether it's private equity, angel, public markets, you only want to invest in a few, and you have to have extreme expertise in one area. So for me, it's technology because it's the leading class of investments. If you want to go fintech, which is a subsector, great. H-tech, which is health tech, you can, but you only need a couple of areas of concentration to be able to grow and continue to pile your money. I'm going to be real. Like, a lot of people want to teach you so much because they really don't want you to make money and be free, because if you're free, you may not have to listen to them anymore. My goal for everybody in Red Panda is to have so much money that they're like, I don't even need you anymore. That's real freedom. Like, so don't get seduced by having so much information or having all these conversations and talks, because for those of you that are in your 20s, when you're going to be 30, you're going to want to materialize. And for those of you in your 30s, by the time you get to 40, what Biggie say, being broke and 40 or give somebody chills, you don't want to know all this information. And then people ask you, this is my favorite questions for anybody in investing. How much money do you have? Are you free? Can you walk away today? That's the entire game. This is a game about money and putting points on the board. Execute more every month and you'll be good.
Real quick, the correction on that site that we talked about, Brandon Davis, is UNEST. 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 That's the name of the site. Yep.
What are some innovations for the future? 5 innovations for the future that people should.
Man, I have to make a little list real quick before we bring my guy in. But one is lithium sulfur batteries. So these will be able to charge a lot longer. Number 2, I want to see smart contracts for mortgages, for financial transactions, and law. So like if I want to get a mortgage in Calabasas, wherever you're hanging out at, right? I want to be able to see the same rate. I don't want an agent to tell me, well, I can get you an interest of 3.8% when they're telling you 2.5. I'm like, bro, I need the same deal they're getting. Got to coordinate. But I think even in the mortgage space, things take too long. And then also on the commercial property side, things take a little bit too long. So smart contracts would be great. Number 3 is epigenetic coding software. I'm gonna say it again. Epigenetic coding software. So think of this as ABG for your genes. So like imagine if you can go to a hospital and at 20 years old, they're like, hey, you have a 10% probability of getting leukemia at 33 and a sickle cell at 38. They would be able to put you into surgery and be able to turn off certain sequences or genes that would be bad for you to be able to prevent those diseases. And I know people are gonna be like, hey, CRISPR does something like that. But if you look at the cost, it's not at scale yet. Or also if you guys look at like the Luxturna surgery, the Luxturna surgery for some people for vision costs $800,000. It's not affordable yet. But imagine if we had like an ABG for our genes that could do genetic testing in 1 hour to understand what is going to happen in our family line based on genetics, past family medical history. I think that would be amazing. Number 4 is nuclear fusion for energy, which is a cleaner version of nuclear energy. Doesn't have as much waste, and then we'll get a lot more bang for our buck. And then number 5, I've talked about it before. I want to do like a little mini documentary here on Market Mondays, but human avatars on Venus or Titan. And the reason I keep bringing up the space stuff, and even last year when I was doing all the graphics with space, if things go to hell in a handbasket, you have to decide, are you going to let the civilization completely die off and hope that we have another Big Bang, quote unquote, event and human life comes to pass, or are we going to repopulate another planet? It's getting really interesting. Like think of it like this. Even with Apple and Amazon, do you think they have all these cloud servers just to store our pictures? And they have miles of storage for databases. And you think that's just for people's nudes and dog photos and pictures of their food? No. You have to be able to, at some point, upload these consciousness and upload them into avatars if we ever do travel out of space. Because if you look at how much server capacity the Big 5 have, it is more than is needed than the next 35 years for what people can actually store there in the cloud. So those are the 5 innovations I'm looking forward to in the future. And the 5 I'm personally looking to invest into, either on the equity, angel, or public market side.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Human avatars.
Human avatars.